We are Group 8 and we're delighted to share with you our project. Scotland's rights-based system to deal with homelessness is in theory well suited to address the issue. However, there is a gap between the legislation and the implementation of this. Our task is to find a solution to reduce the number of young people who experience homelessness. The key takeaway from the data is that homelessness in urban areas is much more visible, but we often forget about the homelessness we don't see or hear about, for example in rural areas. What we found was that while urban areas had larger numbers of young people who are homeless, the rural regions had a higher proportion of the population who were homeless. In some areas, these proportions were nearly double the Scottish average. An important element to take into consideration was that nearly 50% of the homeless population have additional needs. The most common of these, a lack of basic independent living skills or home management. This further complicates the issue, as it's not as simple as just giving a person a house. Most of the support that's available to homeless people is concentrated in urban areas. These services are essential for the prevention of homelessness and would involve transport to reach these services. Homelessness is just as acute in rural areas, but isn't nearly as visible. We found a quote from an article about rural homelessness that really struck a chord with us. This was, "I do think you can't actually address any of this stuff unless you've got some idea about what we're going to do about transport, because it doesn't go away." In response to this and the key statistics, we decided we needed a solution that can be based across rural areas, can help people access the resources they need, and can collaborate with the already existing services. On that note, we developed RISE, the Rural Homelessness Information Service. Our key objective is to act as a preventative measure. Given the amount of information out there, we will provide suitable, relevant, and accessible information. We can help provide training and learning experiences and can be a launchpad into employment or education. At the heart of this is providing support for the health and well-being of young people. Our aim is to fill the gap between legislation and implementation. We listen to the needs of those who are homeless and will provide the following solutions. An example service we will provide is mediation and counselling to help with family relationship breakdowns. We found that the struggle in rural areas is actually reaching people, so we made our service mobile and flexible so it can reach those in need when they need it. In order to justify a solution, there needs to be a way to measure the success of a project. We plan to use both qualitative and quantitative measures to do this. We will use surveys to assess the quality of our care, the effectiveness of the service, and the requirements of the individuals. To understand whether the service is being used and what it's being used for, we will track the numbers of service users, repeat users, and the services they are accessing, so we can predict future needs and prepare for the services that will be required. Volunteers and service providers will also share their views on the service, so we can get an idea of what everyone is needing. Homelessness in rural areas is often not visible. An example service user's journey would be like the following. This person did not have access to homelessness services and lives in a rural village in Orkney. The bus came to visit them once a week and has helped them develop a skills portfolio, learning basic home management. This individual is also connecting with a local firm who held a guest workshop at a meeting, and a potential apprenticeship programme is now in the pipelines. From this, we have highlighted the 3 key benefits our project has that will allow us to develop and improve our project. Scalability means our project can easily be trialled and implemented in more areas, can reach more people, and can take on more responsibilities. The second point involves connecting with more people, more charities and more agencies, and adapting to the needs of service users. The project is suited to the needs of those who use it and fills a gap between the legislation and implementation. Furthermore, the fact that the project collaborates with services and resources that already exist makes it a sustainable solution. Thank you for listening. We'd love to hear your questions and comments now.